from Arizona. Carney, you're on the air. Whoops, I'm trying to, yes, Carney, you're on the air. Oh, Carrie from Arizona.
That's okay. How you doing?
How are you, Carrie?
Well, I actually had a court appearance today, and I'm in the same situation as a lot of these other mothers. My ex is a fireman, and he has a treasure trove of money to keep throwing out to keep me in my little place, even though we're not together no more.
Right.
And he has my 3 children who are 12, 10, and 3. I have no visitation of them. I haven't seen them in over a year. I took off with my children to protect them, and because the state of Arizona failed me, Mojave County, and he managed to, at some point, the kids and I were found, and the state of Michigan CPS founded our stories to be rightful and true, sought to keep us in the state of Michigan. However, the state of Arizona at that time, he filed something here that overthrew the jurisdiction, and he now has the kids. He's stripped me of all my parental rights. He has 3 counts of custodial interference against me. Today, he managed to bring 3 more felony counts along with 18 others against me.
Oh my God.
He's making up lies left and right, bringing up all this stuff, accounting because he's a fireman and his friends are cops are like, yes, we'll stop the charges on her. And I don't know what to do. I am so desperate right now because I'm at the point where I can take a plea, get little to no jail time, but lose all rights to my kids for the rest of my life, including child custody, or I keep fighting and risk prison and life. He's got me in a spot right now, and I'm an emotional mess. I have been everywhere today looking for someone.
Wait a minute, Al. Can I ask you a question? There's men that are in prison for killing people, and they still get to see their kids. What have you done to make it so hard for you to see your children? All you did was try to protect them.
I exposed him. That's basically got to be it. I exposed him and, almost ruined his credibility and supposedly made false accusations to CPS. Although CPS here in Arizona, Coconino County, when I went to them, I had my mother. She called in. She's the one that made the report. They went and did everyone there believed the kids, believed me. They sent it to Mojave County to do further forensic training. It was assigned to a Christina who works for the sheriff's department. He had a friend who worked for that same department who took over the investigation, did the forensic thing. I've seen the video of my daughter. She's terrified, and he didn't even do that with my son. They had no female in there with her. He then went and picked up my husband at the courthouse where I was supposed to be. They drove to Coconino County, told CPS here that there was unsubstantiated evidence, and they closed the case. Then she showed up at my house because she was going to take the kids from me at that point. But there was really no reason to because my kids had clothes. They were well fed. I had a nice place. So she didn't take the kids. So then he got even madder. And the restraining order that I had on him at the time, the judge dropped the restraining order because that judge was his attorney's brother-in-law in Mojave County. Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
I have filed charges for domestic violence. My husband, we were together for 18 years, both violent as far as mental and physical. I have called Justice for Women. They're involved in my court case working with my attorney right now. I have just, like I said today, I've been everywhere looking for resources, and I was able to talk to one of the legislative ladies from the state of Florida because I was in a shelter there, and they put me in contact with her. She's supposed to get back with me. She may know someone here in Arizona that may be able to step in and help somewhat. We're not sure yet, so I'm just really praying about it. But I'm in a real tight situation because, like I said, I can take this plea bargain they're throwing at me, and at that point, I can lose all custody rights to my kids till they're 18, or I can continue to fight for my kids with all these felony counts that he keeps bringing up against me for opening my mouth and exposing him, and risk going to prison for life. So I just don't know what to do. I'm going through resources after resources today, I took the day off work. I was so emotional. I ended up taking the day off of work and just heading out trying to find people to help me.
And have you contacted justiceforchildren.org?
I have actually. Justice for Children is working with me right now.
Excellent.
We need more volunteer attorneys, though.
Yeah,
that's what attorneys are
talked about.
More attorneys that are willing to step in and help, because women can't afford this. And that's why they target women, because they know that women do not have the resources that the men do. And we're also, we're fighting here in Kansas that if you're a relative or a friend of SRS or CPS or somebody in the court system, you really get preferential treatment.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's
who you know.
It's very true.
It's
exactly
who
you know or what you are.
We're not only victim to the fact that we don't have proper representation in our elected representatives, but the judges and appointed judges and the whole bit. I mean, ladies, we have a lot of work to do, but we better get doing it now before we lose an entire generation to kids.
But did you know, in our case, our judge is a woman judge, and she is so pro-father.
Cases, I will explain that to you. In many cases, these women judges are being forced to behave like the men because they have to work with them. And they have to go along to get along. They have to prove that they are one of the boys, or else they have to work with these guys.
And the court-appointed attorneys have to make the judges happy, because if they don't, they will not be appointed again. I mean, they call it the good old boys club here in Kansas.
Everything is politics.
Oh, it is.
Everything is politics.
And our children are nothing but a pawn.
Yeah.
They're chattel. They're collateral damage for the money that the states are making from federal funding.
Yeah, and you were talking about
just recently we've uncovered so many court-appointed attorneys who have been, molesting the women they're supposed to be representing.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's awful. And what it is that we haven't spoken with one voice. We really do this. So we just had a show on last week. We have to do this. Last week it was battered. This whole week has been about violence against women. But last week, our entire board of advisors, well, most of us and many of us, got on, and we just really spoke about what we're going to do about the fact that our abusers are beating up women and going to not family court, but the courts that handle domestic violence. The guys are getting a slap on the hand. They're coming out of court, going home, and finishing the job. Almost 5 women a day are murdered.
Yeah. Did you hear about the father that just scalded his 2 little toddlers?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
And then drowned them.
Yeah.
I mean, the sweetest little 2 boys you ever saw.
Yeah.
One father here in Kansas, he has a coffin as a coffee table to tell his daughter that if she doesn't do what he says, she will get the same thing that her mother got. Her mother got beat up so bad, it's horrible. And he got the daughter. And he's got a coffin for a coffee table.
I heard about that. Oh my gosh, that's
I
terrible.
about that somewhere.
Well, if you guys, you can give my number out to the Arizona woman and anybody else that asks for it. We have a group here, Abuse Freedom United, and we're trying to form another group because we are in contact with government officials. Okay? Federal. You cannot fight this on a state level. You might as well give up because the powers that be will protect their own. Okay? It has to be on a federal level, and we've got to let the federal government know we're not taking this anymore. And you're going to come in here and investigate.
Oh, yes. And, in July of 2009, the Center for Judicial Excellence and the California Protective Parent Association, along with their statewide allies, they work with Senator Mark Leno in Marin County to pass legislative audit of the California family courts. And they were looking into the rampant use of family court-appointed therapists, mediators, and attorneys. And now they're conducting an audit. And what I heard last month was that when the audit was being requested for an investigation, in the family court, they were shredding documents.
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable. What we're finding here in Kansas also is the therapists are nothing but puppets for SRS. SRS pressure these therapists, and that's how therapists make their money also, because they're rehired over and over again through the court system to say exactly what SRS wants them to say, whether they believe it or not.
There's a whole handful of people who are appointed by the court or are familiar with family court cases, who are appointed over and over again, have dual roles, and are state actors, so to say, and who are making a lucrative living in this crisis in the family courts. And they also, too, are dismissing documented evidence of abuse, and they're suppressing evidence.
I wanted to tell you one more thing before and then I'll let you guys all talk, but here in Kansas also, there's a veil of secrecy that SRS and the private contractors who are contracted through SRS, they make billions of dollars off of our children here in Kansas. And there's a veil of secrecy because we're not allowed to see what the reports are said from CASA, from these private contractors, from SRS, from the GAL. All these reports, the person, the parent, the mother, is not allowed to see those reports. So therefore, information is going to the judge that's not brought up in court always. Now, what is wrong with that? How do you confront your accuser if you don't know what they're saying about you and you're not allowed to see?
This is so totally against our
That is outrageous. It is.
Totally against constitutional rights. Now, before we go any further, I want to give my email address out because I'd like all of you to send me an email address